I tested out one of the most expensive but also very popular medium format camera, and that is the Mamiya 7II. I brought this one with me on our trip to Curacao, and in this series we're testing out 4 different medium format cameras to see which one fits my style, but also if medium format is still something that I really enjoy. But more about that in a bit. Welcome to a new episode of Frames. I was so excited to put the first roll into this camera because of course I heard a lot of great things about it and I've seen some amazing photographers use it in the field. So a roll of Portra 800 it is. It's such an easy to load camera, especially if you compare it to the RB67 or maybe a Hasselblad. It's also way lighter and comfortable to carry around. Therefore, I think it was the perfect choice to bring this camera on this trip. The next day I took it on a little walk with Xenia. The last light on this day was beautiful and I wanted to capture that. One thing I noticed right away is that it felt like the metering was a little bit off. That's why I double checked almost every frame with either the Light Meter app or with my Leica M6. Later did I find out that the Mamiya 7II has a really tight spot metering, so really sensitive to where you point it, which also could come in handy in a lot of situations, but I think you'll get used to it when you pick up this camera a lot. In this shot, I'm almost shooting directly into the sun, so I knew that a bit of flaring would happen. But somehow, in a lot of shots, there is flaring, even with the hood on it. Don't know if it's the lens or maybe it's just the characteristics of it, but it is something that I noticed. With that being said, I also think this is the sharpest lens that I've ever shot on film. Crazy amounts of details. This camera also feels so good in low light situations. I can use really slow shutter speeds because there's just no mirror slapping around. A lot like it would feel on a Leica M6. Because it's a rangefinder, it feels so at home. And it's also really tricky because I would rush through a roll like it was a Leica M6. Going to be very expensive then because this only has 10 shots. To be honest, I could spend hours on a road like this just capturing those houses. Like I said, so easy to take low light shots with slow shutter speeds. Crazy when I think about it being on such a big negative. Before we continue, I want to thank Fotohandel Delfshaven for collaborating with me on this project to find my perfect medium format camera. They didn't pay me to say anything, but they did lend me all the cameras for this series. I did buy my black Leica M6 there, and I think this is the perfect store to do it. It's just completely dedicated to film cameras and I just love stepping into there. Everything gets checked and serviced by their own technical department before it arrives on the shelves. These guys are not sales driven and they rather provide you with a camera that's a lot cheaper but really fits your needs. They give advice and they search for the best option for each customer. And with that comes their rental department, so you can easily try out a camera before you buy it. And this is also nice for those photographers that just need something but don't want to buy it for one time. Fotohandel Delfshaven works together with a lab, so after your rental you can leave your film there for it to be developed and scanned. I know that if I buy one of these cameras, I would definitely do it at their place. Don't tell them that I brought the camera into the pool on this next shot though. I am by no means a landscape photographer, but I can really understand why they love using this camera. So easy to carry around on hikes or trips, no mirror slapping around and crazy sharp glass. By the way, if you think this is the only footage from our trip to Curacao, you're wrong, because I already got an episode online where I take you with me on this full adventure. I'll link it down below. My conclusion about the Mamiya 7II is, it is a beautiful camera. Easy to carry around because it's small and lightweight, but also has insane sharpness and quality to it. Because it's so light, it also feels way more vulnerable than, let's say, the other cameras that I'm testing out. So I would be a lot more careful with this one. But for a big 6x7 negative, this is definitely the most comfortable one. It has a leaf shutter in the lens, and because it's a rangefinder, it's so easy to get those low light shots with slow shutter speeds. But it might not be the best for portraits, because it's a rangefinder of course, but if I would consider this camera, I might need to check out that a bit further. Because with the M6 I have no problems taking portraits at all. Like I said in the beginning of this episode, this camera is pretty expensive. For a kit, you will pay between $3,500 and $4,500 depending on which version and which lens of course. So that's something you really have to consider if it's worth it or not. So what do you guys think? Is this the perfect medium format camera or just a rangefinder on steroids? And if you own one, do you take portraits with it? Let me know. For now, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next week. Peace!